Ladies and gentlemen, today is not just another day. It's a chance to draw a line in the sand between the life you've been living and the life you know you are capable of creating. Deep inside, you already feel it. You know there's more within you, more power, more energy, more freedom. The question is, will you access it, or will you keep repeating the old patterns that have kept you stuck? Life changes the moment you decide to raise your energy, break the cycle, and commit to a new standard. Energy is everything. It shapes your emotions, your mindset, your body, and your future. But here's the truth. Most people are running on low energy because they're caught in patterns that drain them instead of fuel them. You have the power right now to break free. You don't need to wait for tomorrow. You don't need permission. You only need to choose to stand up and say, no more. I will not be limited by old habits. I will unlock my full energy and unleash the version of me that was born to thrive. This is not about motivation that fades in a day. This is about transformation that lasts a lifetime, and it begins with a decision followed by consistent action. If you truly want to create unstoppable momentum, you must master your energy and crush the patterns that no longer serve you. So today, let's break it down. Let's uncover the keys that will allow you to unlock your energy and break those old patterns now. Energy is the foundation of everything you do in life. And the truth is, you don't have to wait for it to show up. You can generate it in an instant. The way you breathe, the way you move, the way you hold your body all create the quality of energy you feel in this very moment. Think about the times when you felt unstoppable, alive, and full of passion. What was happening? Chances are you were standing tall, breathing deeply, moving with intensity. You weren't slouched over, shallow breathing, or moving sluggishly. That's not coincidence. That's physiology. Your body is the switch that controls your emotional and mental energy. If you feel drained or unmotivated, you can flip that switch instantly by changing your state. Jump up, stretch, move your body, take powerful breaths, and feel the shift within seconds. This isn't theory. It's practical and proven. Your state determines your decisions, and your decisions shape your destiny. When you're in a low state, everything feels heavy, overwhelming, and difficult. The same challenge, when faced with high energy, feels like an opportunity, an adventure, a mission worth taking on. The challenge didn't change, you did. Most people wait for external events to change how they feel, but you don't have to. You are not a victim of your environment. You are the master of your state. That's why learning to shift your energy instantly is one of the most powerful skills you will ever develop. The key is awareness. Catch yourself in the moment when you start sinking into old, low energy patterns, slouching, sighing, telling yourself you're tired or overwhelmed. The moment you notice it, interrupt it. Stand up, shake your body, change your breathing pattern, move with purpose. This simple act begins to rewire your nervous system to respond differently. Even something as basic as putting on music that energizes you, clapping your hands, or saying yes with conviction can radically shift your emotional state. You are literally conditioning your body and mind to associate movement with power and certainty. When you control your state, you stop letting circumstances control you. You start creating your day instead of reacting to it. Think of athletes before a game. They don't wait to feel ready. They prime themselves, they breathe deeply, they jump, they shout, they focus. Why? Because they know performance is born from state, not from chance. You have that same ability. Every time you shift your body with energy, you're sending a message to your mind. I am ready. I am strong. I am in control. If you want more energy in your life, stop waiting for it. Generate it. Your body is a power plant. Just as a power plant doesn't have energy, it creates energy. You too can create it on demand. Every moment you choose to change your physiology, you are choosing to ignite a higher level of performance. And from that elevated state, everything becomes possible. Confidence, clarity, focus, and the drive to take the action that transforms your life. Every pattern in your life, whether empowering or destructive, has a beginning, and that beginning usually comes in the form of a trigger. A trigger can be a thought, an environment, a person, or even a time of day. When that trigger appears, the brain automatically runs the familiar program you've repeated for years. It's like a groove carved deep into your nervous system. The problem is, those patterns, while comfortable, are often the very chains holding you back. They keep you doing the same thing, getting the same result, and feeling the same frustration over and over. To truly transform your life, you must learn to identify these triggers and interrupt them the moment they appear. The sooner you break the sequence, the faster you reclaim your power. Imagine a record playing. When the needle keeps running over the same scratch, you hear the same sound endlessly. That's how old habits work. But if you pick up the needle and place it somewhere else, the music changes instantly. Your mind and body are no different. The key is to create disruption. That disruption can be anything: standing up quickly, shouting a word with intensity, changing your environment, or replacing the action with something empowering. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to break the automatic flow. The faster you disrupt the pattern, the less grip it has on you. Think about how many times people fall into destructive loops like procrastination, overeating, arguing, or doubting themselves. The pattern feels automatic, but it isn't destiny. It's conditioning. If you don't interrupt it, it gains strength. If you stop it immediately, you weaken it. Every time you choose to interrupt, you're retraining your nervous system to respond differently. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice the interruption, the stronger your control becomes. One powerful way to do this is through changing your physiology the moment the trigger appears. If you notice yourself about to fall into the same cycle of stress or frustration, shift your breathing, stand tall, move your body in a way that's opposite to how you would normally feel in that state. Another method is to use words. Create a phrase or command you say out loud with intensity, something like, "not anymore," or "I decide now." This may feel uncomfortable at first, but that's the point. You're breaking the rhythm. The brain cannot run the same program when the body and mind are suddenly jolted into a new experience. Over time, as you interrupt more and more patterns, you begin to rewire your brain. Instead of reacting to life unconsciously, you respond consciously. You start creating space between the trigger and your action, and in that space lies your freedom. Old habits lose their hold because they are no longer automatic. You are teaching yourself to choose a new path, to replace destructive patterns with actions that build strength, energy, and momentum. Once you understand that every negative cycle is only as strong as your willingness to let it continue, you realize that the power has always been in your hands. The moment you stand up and disrupt the old flow, you prove to yourself that you are not your past, you are the creator of your future. What you focus on grows, and where you put your attention shapes the quality of your life. Too often, people spend their days consumed by what they fear might happen, by everything that could go wrong, or by memories of the past that left them hurt or disappointed. That focus drains energy, paralyzes action, and traps you in a cycle of negativity. The mind has an incredible ability to magnify whatever it concentrates on. If you feed it fear, doubt, and limitation, you will experience more of the same. But if you direct it toward vision, goals, and possibility, you ignite energy, clarity, and determination. The shift begins the moment you decide to move your focus from what you don't want to what you do want. Think of it like driving a car. If your eyes are fixed on the ditch, your hands will naturally steer you toward it. But if you lock your vision on the road ahead, your body follows. Life works the same way. Focusing on fear and problems pulls you deeper into them, while focusing on solutions and outcomes pulls you toward success. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties don't exist. It means using your energy in a way that serves you instead of drains you. The problem is real, but so is the power to overcome it, and that power grows when you place your attention on the desired outcome rather than the obstacle. The language you use with yourself is a direct reflection of your focus. If you constantly ask, "What if I fail? What if it doesn't work?" your brain will search for evidence to prove those fears true. But if you instead ask, "What will I gain if I succeed? What steps can I take right now to move forward?" your brain starts generating solutions and opportunities. This is how focus fuels creativity and action. Your questions direct your energy, and your energy determines the quality of your experience. Another powerful way to shift focus is through visualization. When you vividly imagine the results you desire, how it feels, how it looks, how it will change your life, you are training your nervous system to believe it's already possible. The more detailed your vision, the more your brain begins to filter reality to match that focus. Suddenly, you notice opportunities you previously overlooked because your attention has shifted from fear to possibility. Athletes, performers, and leaders use this practice all the time. They see the victory before they live it, and that vision guides their actions. Every day, you have the choice to fuel your fear or fuel your faith. Energy flows where focus goes, and whatever you consistently focus on becomes your reality. If you want more confidence, focus on the times you succeeded. If you want more joy, focus on the things you're grateful for. If you want more strength, focus on the progress you're making rather than the distance left to go. By redirecting your focus, you redirect your energy, and by redirecting your energy, you begin to create the life you truly desire. The voice you hear the most every single day is not the voice of your friends, your family, or even the people you admire. It's your own. That inner dialogue is constantly shaping how you feel, how much energy you carry, and ultimately what actions you take. The problem is most people let that voice run unchecked, repeating the same limiting words over and over until they become an identity. When you say to yourself, "I can't," "I'm not enough," or "this is too hard," you are literally programming your nervous system to believe those limitations are real. And because your brain is always searching for evidence to support your thoughts, it will find reasons to make those statements true. That the quality of your life is directly connected to the quality of the words you use with yourself. Changing your inner dialogue begins with awareness. Start listening to the stories you've been telling yourself for years. Are they empowering you or are they weakening you? Every time you catch yourself repeating a limiting phrase, stop it and replace it with language that lifts you higher. Words like "I can," "I will," "must," and "I am capable" carry energy. They shift the way your body responds, the way your mind focuses, and the way your emotions rise. When you repeat them with intensity and conviction, they start to embed into your subconscious until they feel natural. That's how new beliefs are built, through repetition and emotion combined. Think about the difference between someone saying, "I'll try," versus "I will make it happen." One creates doubt and hesitation. The other creates certainty and drive. The words might seem small, but the energy they produce is enormous. Language is more than communication. It is creation. The words you use consistently create the reality you live in. That's why changing your inner dialogue is not just positive thinking. It's rewiring your mind for success and strength. One powerful practice is to create affirmations that reflect the identity you want to live from, not the limitations of the past. Instead of saying, "I hope I have energy," tell yourself, "I am energy. I am unstoppable. I am in control." Say it out loud with emotion and feel how your body shifts immediately. The more you speak these words, the more your subconscious accepts them as truth. And when your beliefs change, your actions follow. It's also important to eliminate the small negative phrases that seem harmless but actually chip away at your energy. Words like, "I'm exhausted," "I'm unlucky," or "nothing works out for me" may feel casual, but they program your brain to stay in a low state. Replace them with empowering alternatives like, "I'm recharging," "I always find a way," or "every challenge is making me stronger." Over time, this shift creates momentum. You start to feel different, act different, and attract different results. Your inner dialogue is the script of your life, and when you take control of that script, you stop playing the role of limitation and step into the role of power, possibility, and growth. Your life is ultimately a reflection of the standards you set for yourself and the rituals you follow every single day. Standards are not wishes or hopes. They are the lines you draw in the sand that define what you will and will not accept in your life. If your standard is average, your results will be average. If your standard is excellence, your results will rise to meet that demand. The difference between people who create extraordinary lives and those who remain stuck often comes down to the standards they choose to live by. High standards force you to rise, they demand growth, and they shape every decision you make. When you say, "This is who I am and nothing less is acceptable," you begin to condition yourself to operate at a higher level of energy and performance. But standards alone are not enough. They must be reinforced by rituals, those small, consistent actions that compound over time to build unstoppable momentum. A ritual is simply a repeated behavior that becomes automatic, and the truth is, you already have rituals. The question is, are they empowering you or draining you? Waking up and scrolling through your phone, complaining, eating without awareness, those are rituals. But they're not rituals that serve your energy. To unlock your full potential, you must create rituals that fuel your mind, body, and spirit. Start with your morning. The way you begin the day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you jump out of bed with purpose, move your body, breathe deeply, and feed your mind with empowering thoughts, you've created a ritual that builds energy and focus. Compare that to the ritual of hitting snooze, dragging yourself out of bed, and immediately stressing over emails. One creates momentum, the other creates fatigue. Your rituals either serve as rocket fuel or as weights holding you down. Nutrition, exercise, and rest are also rituals that dictate the level of energy you carry. Eating foods that energize you, moving your body daily, and giving yourself quality rest are not luxuries. They are standards that support a life of high performance. When you raise the standard of how you treat your body, your energy rises naturally. Combine that with rituals for your mind, like gratitude, visualization, or journaling, and you create alignment between your physical and mental energy. The power of rituals is that they compound. One small action repeated daily becomes a habit, and habits become identity. If your identity is built around strong, empowering rituals, then energy, confidence, and focus become your natural state. You no longer need to force yourself to take action. It becomes who you are. That's why the greatest transformations do not come from a single breakthrough moment, but from consistent rituals that reinforce a higher standard of living. When you decide to raise your standards and design rituals that match that decision, you take control of your future in a way that nothing can stop. The single most powerful force for transformation is action. Without action, all the motivation in the world is useless, all the ideas remain theory, and all the dreams stay locked in your imagination. The reason so many people stay stuck in the same patterns year after year is not because they don't know what to do. It's because they never move. They wait for the perfect moment, the right conditions, or some guarantee of success before they begin. But here's the truth, the perfect moment never comes. Waiting kills momentum, and momentum is what creates results. The moment you take massive action, you generate energy, you create clarity, and you build confidence. Action is not the result of motivation. Action creates motivation. Think about the times in your life when you felt unstoppable. It wasn't because everything was perfectly lined up. It was because you took a bold step forward, and that step gave you power. Action breeds certainty. The more you move, the more your brain realizes you're serious, and it starts working with you instead of against you. Fear, doubt, and hesitation can't survive in the presence of massive action. They only live in stillness. The moment you step forward, you break their hold. It's important to remember that action doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it won't be. You will stumble, make mistakes, and learn along the way. But mistakes are not failures, they're feedback. Every action you take gives you data, teaches you lessons, and moves you closer to the outcome you want. The only true failure is an action. When you refuse to act, you guarantee the continuation of the old patterns you're trying to break. When you act, you begin the process of building new patterns that serve you. One of the most effective ways to create momentum is to lower the threshold for action. Don't wait for the giant leap. Start with the first step. Send the message, make the call, take the walk, write the paragraph. Small steps taken consistently lead to massive breakthroughs over time. Once you begin, the energy builds. That energy fuels the next step, and before you know it, you've created momentum that is almost impossible to stop. Massive action is often the result of many small actions done without hesitation. Another key is to associate action with identity. Don't just say, I will try to do this. Say, I'm the kind of person who takes action now. When you link your sense of self to immediate action, procrastination loses its grip. You no longer wait for external circumstances to push you. You push yourself because it's who you are. Over time, this identity becomes natural, and taking bold, decisive action becomes your default response to challenges and opportunities. Life doesn't reward intention, it rewards execution. You already have ideas, visions, and goals inside you, but they mean nothing until you act on them. Every second you hesitate, old patterns grow stronger. Every second you move, new possibilities open up. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And the faster you step onto that bridge, the faster you transform your life. When you look at your life right now, understand this, you already have everything within you to create the energy, the freedom, and the results you've been craving. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about deciding that this is the moment. Unlocking your energy is not something you do once. It's a way of living. Breaking old patterns is not about force. It's about awareness, choice, and consistent action. Every time you shift your state, every time you interrupt the old cycle, every time you focus on what you want instead of what you fear, you are taking back your power. The truth is, life will always present challenges. But challenges are not here to break you. They are here to shape you, to call out the strength and energy you've been hiding. And when you raise your standards, when you commit to rituals that fuel you, when you take massive action despite uncertainty, you don't just change your life, you inspire everyone around you. Because energy is contagious. Courage is contagious. Transformation is contagious. So the question is no longer, can you? Because you can. The real question is, will you? Will you choose to rise, to act, to unlock the energy that's been waiting inside you all along? Will you decide right now that the old patterns no longer control you, that your future is not a reflection of your past, but a creation of your decisions? If you will, then today marks the turning point. Today is the day you step into the higher version of yourself. So stand tall, breathe deep, carry that energy with you, and remember, your life changes the moment you decide to change it. The moment is now. The power is yours. Step into it fully and never look back. Thank you for giving me the honor to share this message with you today. Remember, transformation doesn't happen by listening alone. It happens when you take what you've learned and live it. So go out there, unlock your energy, break those old patterns, and create the life you were destined to live. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget you are more powerful than you think. Thank you, and I wish you unstoppable energy and an extraordinary life ahead.